Yeah, EJ picked up a Nintendo Switch 2 for me without me even asking. I had considered it. And then our friend Dan Dream Prophet on Discord, he then DM'd me like last week and was like, got a second one if you need it. And I was like, look at all these beautiful people making sure I have a Nintendo Switch 2. Because I wasn't going to do the refresh game like you did.
I streamed that night. I was streaming like Dark Souls like while I was waiting for the drop date. And when midnight came around, because it was Walmart, Target, and Best Buy that were doing the drop at midnight on the pre-order day. And at midnight, I was able to put something in my cart at Target, but Target totally shit the bed. Like you tried to check out, and it was like there was an error, and I kept trying to press the like checkout button, and then my credit card was like, "Is there fraud happening?" I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to buy a Nintendo Switch 2
for everybody."
And so that didn't work. Target was, I couldn't do it. Some people did, but it was basically because Target didn't have like a wait line. You know how they have the wait lines nowadays,
yeah,
for high trafficked items.
Was the page even loading, or was it crashing?
It was loading. You could add something in there, but it would just crash when you went to checkout.
Like the actual page would crash.
Yeah, Best Buy was. It said it was unavailable for, like, at midnight. It was like, we don't know. It's not available. It wasn't highlighting. It wasn't activating, basically, for like 20 minutes. And eventually, the button did show up like sporadically. Like, you would see it and it would like flicker. And you'd try to click it as it's flickering. And I was able to get it, and it'd put you in line. And I was in line for like an hour or more. And then Walmart, as soon as it went live at midnight, I was in line. And then I was just watching, because Target was a shit show. I basically discounted that as a lost cause. So I was babysitting Best Buy and Walmart. And Walmart was just like spinning. It said, you have 1 minute left in your line, and it would do that for like an hour. And then somebody, because I was streaming this whole thing, and so he was like, go just open a new tab at Walmart and add it to your cart. Like, go to the link, add it to your cart. And I did that, and it worked. Whoa. And I checked out, and I was like, oh, holy shit. So I got one at Walmart. And so I was like, so I ended my stream. I was like, guys, I got my Switch at Walmart. This is great. It took a long time. Everything was broken, but we did it. And so I ended the stream. I go back to my bed, and I opened my Best Buy. My page was still on Best Buy, and it was like, you are at checkout. I'm like, wait, what? So I I clicked it. I was like, same day pickup when it's released. And so I got two. So I was like, and I DM'd you. I was like, do you want to switch? And you were like, yes, please.
Yeah. I just didn't want to put in the page refresh work.
And then the next day, GameStop was going to have them go live at 11. And as soon as they went live, like GameStop it had like the DNS, like the Cloudflare is like fucked.
Like an ungraceful crash. Yeah.
It was on fire. Like it was like I think GameStop was probably the biggest on fire one.
So much for stonks.
Yeah. I know those GameStop.
What good was all of our investments if you can't?
Yeah. Good were our diamond hands we were holding. But people did have some success at GameStop. I think I was even able to, like, I was just playing around. I was able to add something to cart at GameStop, but I didn't, because I already have two of these. I don't need more credit card debt. I don't need to go into Klarna debt for this. Then Nintendo had their own system, which I think actually worked out better than any of these things. Where if you're a Nintendo NSO member, you were able to sign up months ago when they did the Nintendo Direct, and they sent you an invite based on like how many game hours that you play or whatever. And so I did get an invite, and I went to there. They gave you 3 days to check out. And so I went there, and I was like, oh, maybe I can get the GameCube controller. But no, you have to actually buy the Nintendo Switch to get the accessories.
Is it basically like the GameCube controller of our dreams, where it's the standard one, except it will be Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's that.
That's pretty awesome. Although I've gotten used to the Wavebird, I gotta say, like, could they release a Wavebird maybe?
I know, seriously, I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, this is basically just a Bluetooth Wavebird. The Wavebird probably has less lag, actually. But anyway, so I did check that out. That seemed like Nintendo, I think, came up with the smartest solution, and it seemed like for most people that worked the best. Like, you would think that there's so much demand for the Switch 2, they would be able to like prepare for this, but I don't know if anybody can prepare for
It's just so much volume, man.
the demand for any of it.
It's like concert tickets.
Yeah, it's like concert tickets. They always crash. So I don't know if you can even build a system that that will sustain the.
Yeah, like it's a good philosophical question. Like, is this even possible?
And I think Nintendo did solve the scalper issue. Like, the GameCube
NSO
controller
thing.
was in stock for a long time because they limit you one per customer. I mean, you have to be already paying Nintendo. That's the problem. Is you have to be already paying Nintendo into the system.
Is there gameplay hours matters? I wonder, does it have to be gameplay hours under an NSO subscription, or could it be like, in other words, let's say that I played my Switch for many, many hours for a full year without an NSO subscription, and then last month I signed up for one. Am I right there in the running with a guy who's had an NSO subscription for 3 years? I don't know.
My guess is yes. They're always
Yeah.
collecting data, but I don't know the exact answer to that. But
Yeah.
but my guess is yes. Like, I think most people who had an NSO were able to successfully figure that out. So, it was definitely, there were some aspects to the Switch pre-order launch, Switch 2 pre-order launch that seemed like a dumpster fire, but. I think most people are happy with it.
It went way better than the Switch 1 and the PS5, certainly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I didn't get a PS5 till like years later.
It just yeah, and you're pretty diligent with these things. So.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't like a game that made me desperate, so I wasn't like, and I'm a Nintendo whore, so I'm going to get a Nintendo system.
I do definitely feel some like Astrobot FOMO, I have to say, but I'm not buying no PS5. It's not happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's one game.
Maybe someday it'll find its way to some other platform that I do own.
Yeah, sometimes the PlayStation, they do release their stuff on like PCs and stuff, and
Yeah, I would consider that. It's funny. We needed to scan something yesterday, and we went to a Staples. Nina, for some job stuff, had to scan something, and I needed to print something to get my Mass Real ID. We're in Massachusetts because the deadline for domestic travel was May 7th, and I don't have anything booked or anything, but I don't want to be caught unawares. And yeah, it makes way more sense to, like, Staples is such a dilapidated store at this point. Or what I assume is that they're based at, like, I would have to assume 80% of their business is outside of the store and in the warehouse for basically office supplies for corporations, right? Like,
you know what I know Staples for nowadays?
what?
Amazon returns.
Yeah, there was a big line there for Amazon return, and I was like, "Don't they do this at Kohl's too?" And
Yeah,
Nina was
Kohl's
like, "I
and
don't think they do anymore."
Staples.
Yeah,
And I wonder if they must make a certain amount of money doing that. Like, they must get paid a certain
there's some
amount.
UPS partnership that they both have. So UPS maybe carries Staples office supplies, but so I have no purchase with Staples normally, but I would buy, even for very rare printing, I would buy a $200 printer and scanner. Just for that very rare capacity in my house. However, you just know, man, if you go a few months without printing, next time you got to print, it ain't going to work. There's going to be a toner problem. So I'm not so I'm just like, no, Staples. For the rare time I have to print, Staples, okay? And it makes a lot of sense, I think. But that brought us into the store. And Gloria, I think, she kind of likes to LARP office worker. She likes to be like at our office and see what we do on our computer. And she saw that Nina had a manila folder, and she was like, I want some of them manila folders. So we ended up walking the floor a little bit to see what they had. I bring this up because there's a game section there, and I forget about it every time.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh yeah, there's like Switch, PS5, controllers. There's like a bunch of shit here. And I never would think to come here.
No.
It begs the question, like, did Staples have pre-orders for Switch 2? I don't know.
Yeah, actually, there were some like weird places that were like, people were like, oh, I got like, some random store, but it was not as advertised. And I know Costco is going to have some Switch 2s.
Because, like, I don't really go to Best Buy either. And the few times I do is for like a television, every 10 years. There have been a few times where I've wanted, like, on the same day, I want to buy, like, pick up some Roku sticks, and I've gone there. But you can pick up Roku sticks at Staples. And I'm like, and it's all the same exact price, right? It seems like the days of going to multiple stores and trying to get a better deal from different stores is kind of over. Like, especially for electronics anyway, it's like just set pricing.
Yeah, and then like whenever like Amazon Prime Day happens, I'll look over at Best Buy and they have the same exact sale. It's like they know.
Yeah.
It's like it must be automated at this point where there's like, yeah, that memory card is like $30 at Amazon, so now it's $30 at Best Buy. Like,
Yeah,
it
they're all
doesn't-
in cahoots, kind of like electronically.
Yeah.
It's like one giant wholesaler for these major manufacturers. Well, good. I look forward to my bundaloo.
Yeah, it is the bundle, yeah, with Mario Kart World. So
Yeah, we're not missing out on Mario Kart, are we? And I can use my old controllers. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
oh, there was that leak recently that maybe the new Mario movie is gonna be Super Mario World. So that's interesting. I don't know.
Whoa. I guess, that almost certainly implies the presence of Yoshi. He was an Easter egg, a Yoshi egg at the end of the first
Yoshi
movie.
egg. My guess is there may be a little bit Mario Galaxy, Mario World.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had the Luma in the first one.
Yeah, and I like Peach in the first movie was like, oh, there's lots of galaxies out there.
Oh, yeah, true.
They're that.
Yeah.
I think that I think there could be a little synergy there.
I hope it's good. I do, because I think the first one pretty much nailed it.
Sony has just announced they are offering a special Black Friday bundle called the Black Friday Bundle.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.